BBC Sounds. Music, radio, podcasts.
Hi, Gary Lineker here. A quick word before we start. Don't expect your normal match of the day analysis on this pod, and there might be some bad language. In fact, there is. We're footballers after all. Cheers. Welcome to Match of the Day, top 10 from BBC Sounds. Ian Wright and Alan.
Gee, we've got to talk about the food you just done. Sorry to interrupt. I was just thinking.
You can interrupt me anytime you like.
What a lovely...
Here, food.
The ragu.
How did you
what did we have?
get
That
to
was
cook like that?
that was fantastic,
I just
my friend.
taught myself about 5 years ago. I started.
Very nice.
Yeah, very kind. It was slow cooked.
Very nice. Nice red
ragu.
wine, nice food.
Yeah,
Really,
tagliatelle.
you know, the amount of people as well. I was sitting there thinking I could not do that.
No. But
Is that not daunting for you?
No, I love it. I love cooking. Anyway, yeah,
Okay,
you're
cool.
embarrassing me now. So
Sorry, man. Sorry, G-Force.
Let's talk about goalkeepers.
Yes.
Do we have
man.
to?
Yes, no,
Yes.
I know, because that is our top 10 for this week, and it's obviously not a subject that we're familiar with in terms of being a goalkeeper, but we've faced one hell of a lot of goalkeepers between us. We'll have the same kind of dilemma about how do we judge one goalkeeper against another in terms of the fact that, say, for example, Alisson and Edison haven't been in our game that long. Other players have been in it a long time, so we have to judge between a bit of longevity and how good a goalkeeper is and how the goalkeeping's actually evolved, doesn't it, goalkeeping?
Yes, majorly.
It's probably more than any other position on the pitch. Fullbacks have changed, obviously, as well. But goalkeeping nowadays, they've become part of a football team in the sense that they have to play with their feet.
Well, Joe Hart, man.
Yeah. When we started out,
Yeah.
it was basically a goalkeeper had to keep the ball out of the goal, and that was the job of a goalkeeper, because most of the time, keeper got it.
Yeah. They're called goalkeepers
Launched
for a
it,
reason.
didn't they?
Yeah.
But no, it's...
You've got to be able to play, haven't you?
You have to be able to play.
So
now.
do we take that into consideration to a degree, or...?
I have.
To a degree,
We're just looking at the best goalkeeper in the Premier League period. Again, we will use longevity will work for some, and because obviously Alisson's been unbelievably good for Liverpool. He's made a massive difference to them, but he's only a season and a half in.
Mm-hmm. But Edison's been amazing as well, and I think it's the reason why Edison has to be in it, not only because he's won stuff, but he's one of the goalkeepers you'd have to say has probably changed it.
Yeah.
For the way goalkeepers have to be now. And like I mentioned, Joe Hart, and, you know, unfortunately for him, Pep came in and I was disappointed and everything, but literally cut his legs off in respect of goalkeeping.
Not literally.
Not
Actually,
well.
let's say
unliterally.
not literally.
Yeah, not literally.
Metaphorically.
Metaphorically. Metaphorically.
I mean, I know he left him out, but that would have been a bit
Could you
harsh,
imagine if Pep actually... I've just got a picture in my head of Pep actually cutting his legs off. But he might as well have. What he done to him. Yeah, what he done to his career.
No wonder he's seen as a player that can't play with his feet.
Can't play with his
He hasn't
feet.
got any, because Pep cut them off.
Literally.
Brilliant.
But can I just say, just the point I'm making is that when you look at how the demise off of the back of that, and the emergence of someone like Edison and how good Edison...
I feel for him, because if we did the list 3 years ago, Joe Hart would probably be in the top 5.
Probably on it, yeah.
Let alone on top 10, but which he's not quite sneaked into. But when you played, and obviously one or two of these goalkeepers are on the list, who were the goalkeepers that you hated? Do you have a bogey keeper? Did you have a particular keeper that you didn't like playing against?
Schmeichel. I only scored against Schmeichel in friendlies, but it was... he was one of the only keepers that I actually thought about before when I went into the game. I thought about...
Did you?
Yeah, I thought about...
Was that because of that particularly vicious...
No, it was even before, because he was so good.
Talk us through that, by the way.
It was...
When you tried to snap him.
I didn't try to snap him.
Okay.
All I did in that particular incident was jumped on the ball.
I think that's right.
In a quite violent manner. Why? Were you a little bit wound up at the time?
I was a little bit wound up at the time. You know, Peter said a couple of things that I didn't find very nice. He said some couple of unsavoury things. But the fact is that what I try to explain to people, you know, it's not my proudest moment, but I'm proud of the fact that as much as I was seeing the red mist, there was I could have actually really caused him a massive problem.
I actually think you were that's actually quite brave, because Peter Schmeichel's a big unit.
Yeah, but it's just, but the thing is with me, from a young age...
Right, he was brave on the pitch when no one could get to him.
No, the thing with me is that in the moment,
Yeah.
it didn't matter the size and everything from a young age.
Yeah.
It's just the realisation afterwards.
The red mist.
Yeah. Once the red mist is gone off, then all of a sudden I could see that Schmeichel is like 6'5", and
Is that what happened genuinely though? So if you
genuinely
had moments like that, or the West Ham dressing room incident and stuff like, do you at some point after, when you calm down, do you go, "Oh, what was I doing?"
without a doubt.
You did.
The West Ham one, the referee's room, was a total, All I remember was doing that thing where you're chasing the referee and then people say, "Oh, just get him off."
Yeah.
And I just went to walk past the referee's room, and the only thing I remember was coming out.
Did you have it? I mean, because you were, physical. Let's say physical. You not so much a red mist though, no?
No, not
occasionally. I've seen
now-
a couple
now
of
and
bits. I
again,
remember one at
yeah.
What about
the
when
old
you nearly
Filbert Street.
kicked? What about when you nearly kicked
Neil Lennon.
Neil Lennon's head off down Filbert Street?
He headbutted my foot.
You're out of all that.
Anyway, we digress.
We digress.
Let's go back to
Right.
goalkeepers. Any keepers that you particular, Alan?
Schmeichel
Again.
And David Seaman, they were both.
I tell you, I obviously played against Peter Schmeichel, David Seaman, and I scored against both of those on a few occasions. In fact, David made a big mistake in the semi-final of the first London derby at Wembley. But a great goalkeeper though he was, and he actually made one of the best saves ever from me that I'd ever seen ever. I was like 3 yards out, and the ball came across, and I just went bang like that, and he just went whoosh, like from nowhere, like it was unbelievable. And I actually went up to him, I went, "Bloody hell, mate, that was a good save." Because obviously I knew him by that save. He was in the England squad. I just had nothing else to say, but you never congratulate a goalkeeper, did you? Really? You would never want to do that. It was sickening, but I just thought, my God, what a save. Deserved a bit of credit.
No, I don't remember anyone's saves, no.
From you?
No, I wasn't too keen on when they made good saves.
Nor was I, but...
I'm deadly serious. If they made a good save, I was thinking, I've missed that rather than they've saved it.
It's funny, I've got an awful memory, but I do remember Chris Woods making a sensational save at Carrow Road from me once.
Ian Walker
not that
Spurs
bitter
as well. Ian Walker made a great save for me at home. When I was, when you think, I've just got to connect this. Yeah. And it must have come off of his shoulder or something. It went over the bar. You look at it and you think, it's literally impossible for that to happen. Yeah. It went over the bar.
Did you ever, before you faced the keepers, you didn't study your goalkeeper and say he's good at that, or he's bad at that, or he likes to do this, or he likes to do that? Did you, or did you just go into a game and think, it doesn't matter, I'm just going to score? Did he not study the keeper?
Yeah, definitely. I knew for a fact, like someone like Steve Ogrizovic, he always wanted to pat it first, then catch it. Yeah. So any shot that went in, he tried to stop it first, then catch it. I know that. Yeah.
Ready to pounce.
Yeah. And so, anything that was going in on him, I'll just make sure that you just go in. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you?
You got. I think it's part of your job, innit? You've got to look at someone.
I mean, nowadays it'd be so much easier because every game's televised. Yeah. You'd spot every keeper that weakness, the tendency to some of those that push it out in the middle of the goal, etc.
Exactly.
Anyway, right.
Yep.
Let me read the top 10 given to us by the BBC commentary team. It goes as follows, in alphabetical order as ever. Alisson, Cech, De Gea, Edison, Given, James, Lehmann, Schmeichel, Seaman and Van der Sar. Some great goalkeepers in there, unquestionably, and some of them that have joined our league from foreign shores in recent years that have excelled in the Premier League. Firstly, Ian, I'm going to go to you. I want you to give me from 6th to 10th, but do it in reverse order. So start with 10.
So 10, I'm going to go with Shay Given.
Shay Given, yeah.
Like Shay. Shay was a good shot stopper when he out.
Great. Very, very good.
Good friend of yours.
Good friend. Great lad.
David James.
David James, yeah.
David James is a goalkeeper that you always thought that should have been even better for some reason, but he just made mistakes. Jens Lehmann.
Yeah. Yeah.
As 8.
Arsenal.
Invincible keeper.
Yeah, of course.
David De Gea.
David De Gea. Now, I suspect maybe 12, 18 months ago, he would have gone a lot higher. He's kind of made a few mistakes.
Yeah, he has. And Alisson.
Alisson, yeah. Okay. That's great goalkeeper. But he's not played that many games in the Premier League, has he? 50-odd, I think. Okay, there's your... explain your thinking. Why is Shay Given at the bottom there?
Well, I think that, with Shay and, when you look at the the rest of the keepers and everything what they've done, as much as I said, like, Shea's a great goalkeeper for the height he was and everything and shot stopper, it's just, I just feel that he wasn't a goalkeeper that was, for me as well, I wasn't afraid of him. I wasn't afraid of none. I wasn't
Were you afraid of anyone?
In respect to, we'll talk about it later, but it's not, afraid of him, but he was somebody that I believed, I fancied something today because I might chip him up. He was that, but it's nothing to do with the fact that he was a very good shot
Tell us
stopper.
about Shea Given. He's obviously a good friend of yours. You play with him.
He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He's one of the hardest working guys you'll ever meet. Great shot stopper in terms of things in and around him. Quick to react. Wasn't great at kicking, which obviously is a huge part of the game now for goalkeepers. The goalkeeping position has changed drastically, hasn't it? Really, I mean, I know you've still got to keep the ball out, but there's so much more to do as well in terms of starting. That's where it starts from now, isn't it?
Yep.
In a lot of the teams. But in terms of hard work and being a brilliant professional, Shea would be right up there.
David James. Now there is an interesting character. I mean, he's quirky, isn't he? Let's say quirky.
He was quirky, and when you look at him and look at his physique and his athletic ability and everything, you'd think that he's a goalkeeper that should be higher up on this list in respect to.
And why is he not?
Because I just think that he had lapses of concentration and made decisions that I think that because of how big and powerful he was, he'd come and do things that
he shouldn't
do because he's just taking liberties with the fact that he thinks he can do it. And, I always saw him as somebody that, who I'm playing against, he'll make a mistake. He'll make a mistake. And, I know him very well. Hopefully I don't bump into him soon.
And after hearing this podcast.
Yeah, but, it's just, that he's somebody that... Could he be somebody that can, for the whole of a season, do well enough to win you a league? I don't think he could.
You didn't play with Lehman, did you?
No, I didn't play with
just
him.
after you, wasn't it?
He was after.
But it's the invincible goal,
wasn't he?
Because David Seaman had just finished and he came in.
Yeah, and I've seen him a few times. I used to go train with him. I used to see him before. He's one of those leaders in the dressing room. But again, he was somebody that, like you say, he got sent off in the final, the Champions League final and that, but he had a little bit something about him as well. But again, there was a kind of a mistake in him what made you feel that, he's somebody that you can't really trust 1,000,000%.
Yeah. Interesting. David De Gea. Who a year or two ago, everyone's probably just before the World Cup.
Yeah.
People were saying he's the best goalkeeper on the planet or the best goalkeeper. He had 2 or 3 unbelievable seasons, making extraordinary saves like Spider-Man, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Since then, though, he's made a few mistakes and he's all right with his feet, but he's not as good as maybe Alisson or Edison.
When he first came, he was open to a lot of criticism as well, wasn't he? Because he wasn't that big. He had no experience, made too many mistakes. Then he went through that period where he was fantastic, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Some of the saves that he made, but at the minute he's making too many mistakes, and often goalkeepers are judged on how many mistakes they make, isn't it?
They're going to make mistakes, but it's like I say, I mentioned with David James and I mentioned with Jens Lehmann, they make the kind of mistakes that after a while you shouldn't be making as a top keeper. They're the kind of mistakes that you kind of eradicate from your game.
But in terms of some of the saves he makes,
he's
extraordinary.
Well, without him, with that period that Man United went through for about 3-4 years now, I don't know where they'd be with the saves he made.
Do you think if we were sat here in 2 or 3 years' time that Alisson would be higher than 6th?
Yeah, without
because we have to take into our minds the longevity that they've had in the Premier League. And he's only been here just over a season. So he's transformed things for Liverpool, hasn't he?
Well, he's been the game changer. Him and Van Dijk have been the game changer for Liverpool. Yeah. Liverpool were nearly there.
Yeah, well, apart from Klopp.
But they were the ones that have made the difference, haven't they, in terms of on the pitch.
How good do you think Alisson will be?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more in terms of give it 3 years and he possibly could be in the top 3.
He's one of those goalkeepers that exudes calmness, isn't he? And that's it. I think that's important in a goalkeeper. Do you?
Yeah, because you want to. It's like if Dave Seaman weren't in goal, whoever the backup goalkeeper was, I was a little bit more nervous. But
I mean, David Seaman's the most laid-back goalkeeper I've ever met in my life.
Easily. I remember, this is why, I remember going back to the Euros and we were about to play Wales and Joe Hart, I remember him being in the tunnel getting ready to go out and he was so wound up. I remember saying to Lee, he's too wound up.
Really?
He was too wound up.
David Seaman?
No. Joe Hart.
Oh, Joe Hart. Sorry.
With the Wales. And so then what happened was that the reason why I noticed that is because Dave Seaman was so calm.
Yeah.
You know, really calm. From the time he got into the dressing room, you saw it's like, he literally was so calm. And so that's where I got it from. He made you calm.
We're looking at, he's not in the top 10 list, obviously, at the moment. He's still a young goalkeeper, but Pickford, he's not a calm goalkeeper, is he?
No.
Would that worry you about him?
Without a doubt, yeah.
Yeah?
Too many errors as well. I mean, everything... a lot of the things that he does have to be spectacular. A basic save has to be a brilliant save for him, where it should be relatively easy. That's what would worry me about Pickford.
Yeah. I know we're just kind of going off track here slightly, but if you were Gareth Southgate now, who'd you be looking at for the Euros? Who do you think should be England's number one goalkeeper? Pope? Can he play? But don't forget, Gareth Southgate likes to build up from the back, from the box. Pope, can he play well enough? Henderson, Sheffield United, possibly?
Absolutely. Without that, he was the one I was going to say next.
Do you think it's the position that's most concerning for England at the moment, possibly?
Yes.
Injuries aside, obviously.
Yeah, in terms of the lack of experience of the other two, I mean, Pickford's been there in the tournament. But he had a great World Cup. And done it, absolutely. He
did have a great World Cup.
Which is why I think Gareth might actually stick with him this summer. But I don't think there's a doubt that he'll try Henderson, I think, in one or two of the friendlies to see what he does.
He makes you nervous, Pickford, but you can also see him as somebody like we saw in the World Cup. In a penalty shootout, bam, he's got the capability of saving 3 penalties. But like the leading up to that, at any stage during the game, he frightens me. He worries me.
I hope he's not listening. Anyway, right, let's go yours, Alan, 6 to 10 or 10 to 6.
I'm going to
do it in reverse
10
order.
to 6. I'm going to do Alisson as number 10.
Alisson as number 10.
Yeah, only because there's only
Alisson is number 10.
50 odd appearances in the Premier League.
Yeah, you've got. I understand your point.
In terms of when you look at James and Shea Given, who I'm going to put, David James is number 9.
Oh, you agree on one? That's unusual. Go on.
And then I've gone Shea Given as number 8.
Okay. It's a little bit of the old mate thing in there, just a little bit.
No, I played with David James with England and under 21s as well. But I'm just thinking.
Yeah, but Alisson for me is a better goalkeeper than Shea Given.
That's a different.
Yeah, but in terms of Shea's like 400 and odd appearances, and Alisson's got 50 odd appearances, and as we sit here, hasn't won the Premier League as yet, but only got 60 odd appearances. So in terms of that's why he's gone in at number 10. Okay. He might be, but I think I've taken everything into account. The number of years, the number of appearances, and everything
he's allowed to do that.
I know, but you don't know me saying that, do you?
I don't mind.
You know I like Shea Given.
She's a great lad. Number 7, I've gone for Jens Lehmann.
Jens Lehmann. Well, at least you've got at the moment.
We're kind of in and around.
And I've gone for number 6, David De Gea.
Oh, wow, look at that. You've actually agreed on basically 6 to 10 in different orders, obviously. But that's got to be it is a first.
Yeah.
Why? Why is...
I said Alisson, James, and given the number of appearances, the longevity, to be around for that amount of time, you have to be a good goalkeeper. And they were Lehmann because of the Invincibles. And De Gea, as we've already alluded to, is when he came, he struggled. There was a time when he was brilliant.
Do you think he would have been higher with you a couple of years ago?
Yes. Yeah. But over the last 12 months, he's made too many mistakes.
He has struggled.
Too many mistakes.
I suppose if there's one position on the pitch that is more pressured than the position that we played, because you've got to score goals, and if you miss them, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Goalkeeper, though, it's like goalkeeper's brutal, isn't it? I mean...
Yeah, we can. We're allowed to miss a chance, miss an opportunity,
and we know we're going to get another one.
You'll get another one.
And the keepers get another chance to make a save, but it must affect them. It's so important giving a goal away. Isn't it
costs that. It costs you. It's like I say, if with all due respect to him, John Lukic, who's a great goalkeeper, when David Seaman had a problem with his ribs and that, when John Lucas was in goal,
He was the number 2 at Arsenal.
Yeah, I was
Played
just
for
nervous.
Leeds for years.
Yeah, won the league with Arsenal and that. But I was nervous when it was Alex Meninga, whoever it was, Maxi Miller. When he weren't in goal, I was more nervous simply because I knew that he had a mistake in him, John Lukic. Just like with David James. With all due respect to David James, he's a goalkeeper that I always thought I had a chance with.
Obviously, I didn't play with David James, but he's always struck me as slightly bonkers, or not
on
bonkers,
all
but
goalkeepers, slightly different.
That was where I was going to leave with the question. Do you have to be a bit mad to be a goalkeeper in the first place? I mean, that was the cliche, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For years and years. But some of them now, you look at them and you think, he seems
They're a
quite
different
sane.
breed, though, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. See them all training by themselves and doing all that stuff on their own over there. And you're always digging the keepers out.
And I think we should get this out of the way as well, because obviously we're not exactly fans of the Goalkeepers Union. Why are they so protected by referees? Why have they always been so protected by... I mean, they have the advantage in the first place of being able to use their hands.
Yeah.
And
Is
the
that
knees,
not enough?
And the knees in your
That's what
back.
I
At least
mean.
you come running out and get the knees up there. You're running into it.
A free one.
Into it. It was a free hit for them, wasn't it?
You know what I mean?
Or when they were coming out with their studs. Wasn't it?
When they catch it, keepers like this.
Keepers, that was all right to shout at keepers and kick you straight in the if you had any.
Do you get the feeling we don't like goalkeepers?
No, but they get in the way as well. They do get in the way.
Trying to stop us do our job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Top 5. Top 5. Starting with you, Alan, because you've got your 6 to 10 there.
Yep.
You might as well keep it.
I've gone
orderly.
number 5, Edison.
Yeah.
Edison, who's a great goalkeeper.
Now I know the longevity thing, but he's played twice the appearances that Alisson has.
Yeah.
Obviously Premier League and
Who do you think's the better? If you had to buy Edison or Alisson or have them in your team now, which one would you go for? 2 Brazilians as well. Brazilians, when I grew up, everyone said, they're great, but goalkeepers, they're useless. But now, they've got 2 of the best in the world.
I'd have Alisson, I think.
Would you?
Would you?
Yeah, I think I would, yeah.
Calm.
Yeah.
They're both calm, aren't they? Both... I think
You see some of the passes that this guy's as good
Edison.
as footballer as
He could play on
Edison.
pitch easily.
He
He should take the penalties, they're saying now.
Yeah.
He's better than some of the players I've played with.
While we're on the subject of Edison and Alisson, who's the best goalkeeper in the world at the moment? There's some great goalkeepers, you go Oblak, he's up there. Alisson, Edison, Ter Stegen at Barcelona's unbelievably good. Neuer, of course, at Bayern Munich's come back from a horrific injury.
Black, I think.
You like Oblak?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
He is an unbelievably good goalkeeper.
Very, very good, yeah. These two are not far
These,
away.
but they're so
like
good
Oblak.
with the ball at their feet, these two, though.
I'm going to go with Alisson.
You mentioned whether you think Edison could
Yeah.
play at... He's that good, isn't he, with the ball at his feet? And they've said the same thing about Neuer, haven't they? I think Ter Stegen as well. What a footballer.
You look at like Edison, right, and the size of him, and when he was younger, he was a left back. He played left back.
Yeah.
You could easily see him playing left side centre half with the way that he pings this ball about.
You don't know until they play it, though, do you? It's
Yeah, but
slightly
the thing
different.
is that yes, you would like to see what he's like moving around the pitch, but he's footballing ability
in terms
with
of
time on the
ability,
ball.
yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
Fantastic, yeah.
What's happened to the game?
No.
And the goalkeeper's the best player you got. So I remember Pep was talking about him a week or 2 ago about saying he's probably our best penalty taker.
He should take the
But he's
penalties.
not. But then De Bruyne, I mean,
He doesn't want to take the penalties.
he took the one
He took one,
in the
yeah,
Champions League, didn't he? Finally, against Real Madrid. Right. Okay. Well, that's 5th. We've still got 4
Fifth
players.
is Edison. Fourth is Van der Sar.
Van der Sar, great goalkeeper.
Yeah.
They're all great goalkeepers. Yeah.
And then I've gone Petr Cech, number 3.
Ooh, this is when it gets interesting. Petr Cech, number 3, fantastic,
Brilliant.
red multi-winner.
And then I've gone David Seaman as number 2.
David Seaman, number
Yeah.
2.
Great goal.
I think I know who's going to be number
And
1.
then, Peter Schmeichel.
Schmeichel.
Yeah.
Casper? Casper? I mean, Casper's not far off the top 10, I'll tell you.
number 1.
He's been a great
Yeah.
goalkeeper, Casper Schmeichel.
Casper, man.
Imagine
Casper
having
could have been
to
in.
follow Peter Schmeichel
No,
as your
incredible,
dad
yeah.
in the same position.
Yeah, he's had an unbelievable career, hasn't he, Casper?
Can I just say with Casper though, like with all due respect to Shea, can't Casper be in there instead of Shea then?
It's an argument.
With all due respect to you, Shea, hopefully,
I mean, yeah,
you know?
I'd actually have Casper in there. But our commentators obviously picked this, but I would have Casper probably ahead of a couple in there.
Yeah.
He's had such a great career, and to actually go through.
Come through
Exactly.
after that name.
I know.
I
yeah.
mean,
Can you
imagine if your son and you beat Schmeichel, he goes, Dad, I want to be a goalkeeper. You think,
No, you're all right, son.
mate, there's no point. There's no point because for the rest of your life they're going to say you're not your dad. But he's gone through that.
actually gone
and
past it.
he's comparable.
Unbelievable.
I mean, Peters, for me, was the best goalkeeper I played against.
I think it's not right that Kasper Schmeichel's not on there now. The more I think of it now, he should be on that list.
Edwin van der Sar.
Yes.
He has an extraordinary
Premier League
record. Obviously, Manchester
Clean
United's
sheets.
goalkeeper after. Well, you remember Peter Schmeichel took a long time to replace, didn't he? And they messed about, and they made it. Fergie made lots of wrong calls in terms of goalkeepers, and they were and then suddenly Van der Sar. And it just shows you how the importance of a goalkeeper is in the modern game compared with perhaps in my day. It used to be like, no one was really worried about who the goalkeeper was. It wasn't that big a deal, but nowadays...
Yeah, but we're on about the goalkeepers changing now, the position now in terms of they have to play. He could play. Van der Sar could play as
Well, he's
well.
Dutch.
So... We keep going on about Alisson and Edison, the way those guys and the way goalkeeping has changed. There's no doubt he could pass the ball as well.
4-time Premier League champion, 2009 Golden Glove, 2 Champions Leagues,
1,311 minutes not conceding a goal. World record.
Yeah.
Van der Sar.
Where did you pull that one from?
I've pulled it out
Who
somewhere.
did that one for you?
No. Me and Roscoe, I've done it, man. And I thought to myself, that's a lot of minutes.
That's a lot. That is a lot.
I mean, I didn't want to try and work out
How
the actual
many games
minutes.
is that?
I don't know. There's a few games.
It's about 12,
It's a
isn't
few
it?
games.
12.
No, it's more than that.
Is it?
90 minutes?
How many minutes did you say?
We're not going into maths.
No.
Don't let me go into maths.
No.
But that's a
How
great
many
stat.
minutes was it again?
No, it's 1,311 minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's why it's the milk monitor. He was useless at that.
But, 132 clean sheets. That's a lot of clean sheets.
Is there a danger of us being influenced in our order of the top 10 here by the fact that some goalkeepers would naturally have played behind a better defence than perhaps some other goalkeepers on this list?
Well, you could say that about us as forwards, couldn't you?
Yeah, with midfielders.
With the midfielders, the wingers you play with, the team that you're playing.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, Van der Sar,
imagine if any of us had played for decent teams.
Can you imagine playing in City or Liverpool's team now? The number of chances
that's sort of
with
my
De Bruyne
point. That's my point.
and Trent Alexander whipping those balls in.
You wouldn't even need to leave anywhere near the box, would you? You wouldn't even need to leave anywhere near the box. De Bruyne can find you from anywhere.
No.
Trent Alexander can find you from anywhere.
Jesus.
Yeah, so what, Van der Sar with Vidic and Rio?
Exactly. Schmeichel.
Yeah, they've all got the good
Bruce
defences,
Pallister.
man.
Yeah. Seaman had Dave Seaman had Bold and
Back
Adams
four,
and all that. So the thing is, but at the same time,
Cech too with Terry and, then
and
Carvalho.
But then it comes down to, yes, they had those great defenders in front of them. It does make you a little more stable without a shadow. But they didn't make the kind of mistakes, the serious mistakes, the silly ones where you're not concentrating and it goes through your leg. Or they didn't make those mistakes, even with good defenders behind them. And that's what we're talking about.
Petr Cech, let me read this out. You've got him in at third, but let me read this out and then see if you want to stick with it, Alan. 443 appearances, 202 clean sheets.
Unbelievable.
That's nearly half. See, maths. 4 Golden Gloves. 4. 4-time Premier League winner.
Staggering.
Champions League winner. 5-time FA Cup winner. 3-time League Cup winner. Europa League winner. 9-time Czech Footballer of the Year.
Yeah.
Footballer of the Year. And you've only got him in third.
I know. The reason probably is why I played with David Seaman
So there's
with
a
England.
slight, and it's the same with Wright.
Yeah, I knew how he was in training, how dedicated he was, how hard he worked. Obviously played against him so many times,
Me too.
season in, season out. So that is why I went for Seaman ahead of Cech.
I'd actually have Schmeichel and Cech.
Can I just say something
in whatever order?
Can I just say something about Petr Cech? Petr Cech taught himself Spanish and Portuguese, just so as he could communicate with his defence.
And where did you get that from?
The same place as I got the Edwin star. Taught himself
either way,
Spanish and Portuguese. I know it's kind of like...
quite impressive.
Well, you know.
Well, they're similar, but they're very different.
Exactly.
They're written, they look the same.
But it's the fact that he taught himself that just to communicate.
Yeah.
It was a bit like your French, wasn't
Just
it?
to give them a bargain.
In the Arsenal dressing room.
Yeah, bon matin, to Patrick. That's what you do. You have to put the work in. You want to get it out.
You do. OK, David Seaman, you both played with him.
Yes.
And you've both played against him, no doubt, as have I.
I know that David Seaman being in goal on a daily basis, and like I talked about when we used to do the finishing, and we used to talk mainly about finishing and what the goalkeepers are doing and what he's doing when the ball's coming through. When is he expecting you to maybe see if you could take that bad touch? That's why you've got to make sure your touch is right when you're going through on goal. He was the one that I know that if I wasn't playing with a goalkeeper of that calibre, I know I wouldn't have scored the goals, the amount of goals I scored, because some goalkeepers came out and made just the slightest mistake, and I could feel it, I could see it already.
Before we go on to talk about Peter Schmeichel in more depth, I want your top 5.
Edison.
Oh, no changes necessary.
And then 4,
Yeah.
Petr Cech.
Petr Cech 4.
Right.
That's low for Petr Cech, I would
low.
say. But it's your opinion.
Yeah.
3rd?
Van der Sar.
Van der Sar.
Amazing how he kept those goals out for
And
that
then-
many minutes.
2nd?
David Seaman.
Blimey, you've got remarkably
Amazing.
same. So obviously Peter Schmeichel is your number 1 as well.
Yeah.
Even though you
And it's
fell
a
out
tough one.
slightly on the
Yeah,
pitch
it's
one.
a tough one, but I think I have to give credit where it's due. It's funny because I never scored against David Seaman neither.
Didn't you?
No.
Obviously, someone
goalie.
you know, the goal. You call him the goalie.
The
Funny
goalie,
enough, that was what we called Peter Shilton. I always called Pete Shilton the goalie.
The goalie.
In fact, everyone did. Obviously, didn't play in the Premier League. Hence, otherwise he'd have definitely been in this.
Yeah, he would have.
he was unbelievable. So anyway, David Seaman.
You know, I'm going to probably go on Schmeichel just pipping him because of what he's won over what Dave Seaman's won, but I don't think that as a goalkeeper, shot stopper, say, I think that they were about the same. But like I think Schmeichel has to pip it on what he's achieved, and for the time that he's done it for. But Dave Seaman, he made me a better striker simply because of training with him every day, and you had to be at your best to beat him. He made me the striker I am. Same with Tony Adams and all them guys. You had to be at your best in training to beat him, but then you'd have to beat him, and he didn't make saves out of anything. If it's there to tap over, you don't have to dive. He doesn't dive.
He made it look easy.
Made it look easy. Made it look easy.
That's what in all sport.
Yeah.
People that make it look easy are usually the best, aren't they?
Honestly, made it look easy.
2-time Premier League winner, 98, 2002. Old First Division, remember that?
Yeah.
I know it doesn't exist, but we are allowed to mention it occasionally. 1991, 4-time FA Cup winner as well, and a League Cup winner as well. David Seaman, and 140 clean sheets from 344 appearances. Pretty good. 1-0 to the Arsenal. It was with him in goal.
It was, something. I've seen him make saves, and I mean, even in the cup final, I remember the save what he made, the semi-final. I think that's against. It must have been. Was it Sheffield United? Yep, it was, and that save was amazing. Unbelievable save, and he made saves like that all the time. You're thinking, you're watching a striker get his foot back, and you're thinking, this is a goal. Bam! His arm will come out of somewhere. Amazing.
Played with
goalkeeper.
England
goalkeeper when you were with him.
Yeah, with England, played against him so many times over the years. Only ever scored once at Highbury over all the years, and it was a penalty.
I used to say to him, please don't make Shearer.
I know this sounds terrible. I know this sounds terrible. This sounds terrible, but he was like, what, my lucky keeper?
No way.
Really?
Because he played different clubs, Birmingham, and he.
Yeah.
QPR. And a hat-trick at QPR, hat-trick at Birmingham. He was one, and we used to have conversations about it. He was just one of those. Not that there were many. It was 2 in the semi-final at Wembley for Tottenham against Arsenal. So I don't think he'd even be in my top 10. Well, he would be. He would be. Actually, be number 1 because I like playing against him.
Can I mention Tim Flowers as well? Just as like,
yes,
I remember,
Tim Flowers.
It's, again, people talk about shot stopper and all that stuff. I'm not defeating that, but once I got to know him as well with England, he's a nice bloke and everything. But he was another one.
Premier League winner.
You know what I mean? He has
your
so much
goalkeeper, wasn't he?
So much time for you as a striker. Say, Tim, what about if this happens and that happens? He was so good. Yeah. Tim Flowers. He's got to get mentioned.
Good,
Mark Wallington was like that. Leicester, who's an unbelievably funny bloke. He's a teacher now, and he used to do mad things. Like fans, you know, fans throw the ball back to you when it used to go in the crowd and throw them back. Yeah. He'd pretend to catch it and then do that bump with the arm thing. Bump it straight back and do it back 3 times. And then he used to do a thing with goal kicks, right? So he used to put the ball on the 6-yard box and then go to the back of the net, right? As though he's going to do a run-up. And then pretend he was stuck in the net.
What? Live while the game was going on?
In the games, all the time. He'd do it all the time. Honestly, he used to have me in tears. just.
And with the crowd laughing.
Oh, yeah, loved him. One of the great characters. Absolutely brilliant. Did it all the time. So... we got a winner, though.
Schmeichel.
Right, let's talk about Peter Schmeichel. Phenomenal goalkeeper. Phenomenal. He had that thing, the starfish, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing, he brought that in.
Yeah. Like,
you know what I mean? You used to see it and I used to say, why didn't I just put it through his legs? You know he's going to jump at that stage. But he'd done it at such the opportune moments. It was always a great, say you think there's a goal there, and bam, he'd do this massive starfish. I remember seeing Vialli and that roll it through his legs. I see Zola do the same. I was so gutted I was.
And he was big, he was mad. I mean, the number of times that you could see him screaming at his defenders. I mean, they were proper rows with Steve Bruce and Gary Pallister, weren't they?
Yeah. They were talking under their breath.
And talking to Steve and Gary, and they would say he meant it. He was
done. Yeah. Peter Shilton, exactly the same thing. Yeah. I mean, when he was in goal, even during the game, even after the games, he'd get you in the dressing room. He'd shout around the dressing room, "You're a bottler." You go, whoa. He's just so like, how dare you let anyone shoot at my goal ever?
This is the difference with him and Dave Seaman in respect of their personalities, because Schmeichel, you could not rest. In respects of, like, Gary Neville would always talk about, oh God, he's going to kill me for this. Didn't even want to look across at him because he's slaughtering you so much. Whereas Dave Seaman was just the total opposite.
Yeah. One-on-one with Peter Schmeichel, Alan. What was you thinking?
Well, you always knew that what he wanted to do was make himself that starfish, wasn't it, and bigger. But I always used to judge the situation then. Not I had it in my mind, but it judged the situation. What am I going to do going through one-on-one with a goalkeeper then? And me as a forward, always try to be the one that was in control, rather than have something preconceived idea. Well, this is what I'm going to do. You just judged it there and then when it happened. But in terms of him being a goalkeeper, I mean, saves, crosses, big, strong. I mean, if you went in with a challenge with him, you're going to get hit. Yeah.
Some people.
He was. Which leads us on to...
No.
You've only voted him as number one just so that you might forgive you.
No, we go on song, we play golf, we do everything now, you know what I mean? We laugh about it because...
of course.
He always, when we speak about it, I mean, Strikes, we always talk about how much I genuinely hated him. You know, as a goalkeeper.
What do you mean by that?
Simply because I knew how good he was and how hard it was to score against him, and how I couldn't score against him. The goals I scored against him were friendlies. You know what I mean? I'd come off the game, and the goalkeeper makes a great save. You know, someone else would score, like someone like Christopher Ray scores. You don't even know who he is. So he scored against Schmeichel. I can't score against.
You don't know who he is.
People don't even know who he is. He scored against Schmeichel. And so...
do you think they should ban that from the game? People don't know who they are should
score against him. And like the thing is that all the time afterwards you analyse and say, what could I have done there? What should I have done there? What could I have done? And it's too late. I think the next time makes an even better save.
Yeah. Tell us about that time, just for the people that don't know. Just for the people that haven't seen it. You can YouTube it afterwards. So you're going through, Schmeichel's coming one way, you're going the other. What happened?
In the first
what led to it?
You know what happened in the first half? We had a little bit of altercation at Old Trafford, which led to this game, which was a couple of months later. And in the first half of that game, we went in for a challenge that was so... venomous that we actually burst the ball.
Yeah.
The ball went up, came down, and it went...
That's brilliant, though, isn't it?
It was fantastic.
But you were pretty nasty, weren't you, really? You were a nasty piece of work, weren't you?
Yeah, I'd like to think I was, yeah. And it's, you know what, when I went on there, I genuinely... I didn't care, and I didn't want to hurt people, but I did want to pinch people. I did always want to scratch people in the neck. So, you know, the scratching in the neck.
Did you?
Like, yeah, I love that.
Did you?
So then they'd have to go and say to them,
like Mike Keown. I thought he was the only scratcher. He was a pincher. Keown was a pincher.
I used to grow my nails on purpose.
When you sat on the floor, you went to go and help. Help pick someone up by the neck or the arm, and he grabbed you by the arm and
do you remember what Kevin Moran did to me? There's one time, a couple of weeks before, I had with the Wimbledon players, and I went to hit one, and this finger weren't right, and it cracked. See that there? And I remember I had the bandage on. Played Blackburn the next week, and I was giving it to Kevin Moran, and I was going like this with my bad hand, right? And he went like that. I went like this. His thing's come off. Something's come off of this. What's that?
Yeah, is your hands falling off?
It was so funny because I was going, yeah, you shut up, and he just went, yeah, and he went, look, it was. I nearly broke my hand again. I had to get the operation done again.
Why do we find that funny?
Those things, when you look back, are quite funny, aren't they?
So you carry on with Peter. Go on. What? Yeah.
So what happened is that the second half, you know, and the funny thing is, the tackle, what everybody sees, the whistle actually already went. So I just didn't stop. You know what I mean?
The whistle had already gone?
Yeah, the whistle went. You know what I mean? If you look at it, you can see that the game stopped, but we're both running for it.
But the red mist hadn't.
It was already there. The red mist is already there. And his leg was out like this, and I saw the ball down, and I just jumped on the ball, bam, onto the ball. And they said it was the tackle that shamed football. You know, and it was like, you know, when I look back at it, it's quite an embarrassing thing to see.
It's not. I mean, it is, but it's not. Doesn't come. Have you ever seen the Cantona one where he does
when he literally leaps, like he gets a trampette out of his pocket? Did you see how he? Have you seen it?
That's another thing. Google it at home, folks. Have a little look at the Cantona.
And then he just walks off as well, doesn't he?
I mean, obviously he did one on the crowd once, but that competed with it. But that anyway, we've drifted away from the subject as well. Final word on Peter Schmeichel, our number one all-time Premier League goalkeeper. Unbelievable career. Won so many things. Also, obviously, won the with Denmark as well.
Yeah,
92 Euros.
Off the beach.
Look, there's no getting away from it. He was a giant of a personality, a giant of a goalkeeper. Look at the list of things that he's won, so that's why he's number one. I know he played in a very, very good team,
but they all did. All the ones at the top.
Exactly.
I mean, my only difference from you guys, I'd probably have had Cech at number 2. But can we all agree we hate goalkeepers?
Yeah, we don't like goalkeepers.
But these guys are great.
Respectful.
That's our top 10.
Yeah.
If, of course, you disagree, which you will, you can stick your top 10 and we'll have a look at yours on the BBC Sport website. Thank you for listening again.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm Aoife. And I'm Julia. On our new podcast, we're on a quest to explore the positive power of gaming.
I've had lots of people playing the game with me. It's just that I'm surrounded with lovely, lovely, lovely people, and it feels like home.
And unlock the true stories behind it.
Arcade gaming didn't almost help me. It brought me back from a place where there was definitely no return.
This game changed my life. Why not give it a listen on BBC Sounds?